how's it going, guys? Disney Dan, and welcome back into the channel, and welcome back to another Disney movie review of a Star Wars parody. Sorry, the black hole. There it is. There we go. Here we go. Hey, brother.
What's going on?
The good of all Kree. It's been a while.
It has. It's been a couple weeks. Something. I know you've been doing the big move, and look at Dan. Look, he's got a whole new set in the background.
I thought I'd put a good copy of a sci-fi film in the background here, and just leave that there, and then get into this film.
Absolutely amazing. We're back. I missed you, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
I missed you too, brother. I missed you too. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, what a way to come back.
I know, to talk about The Black Hole from 1979. And that's what we'll be talking about today. Before we get started, let's see who's in the chat. We've got RobFuz. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. Partner channel. He was on Disney Fiasco yesterday. The king of all retro. Good to see you, brother. JK, welcome in. He says, one of the greatest cast members of all time, fittingly has one of the great YouTube channels that have a great show. I don't know who he's talking about. Probably you. Thank you so much for being here. James Ryan says, Dan and Walt, Kelly and I have a standing movie night. We watched this at the behest of a friend. Cool. It could well have been the worst film in history of cinema. A D- on the road. Have a great show. Well, thank you so much, James Ryan. Thank you.
Well, we have James and Kelly's great already.
There we go. We already know they're great. Cy, welcome inside. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Super Fluffy Yeti, welcome in. Welcome into the stream. We got Joey's World. What's up, Joey? Paul Engel, good to see you. And we all got Gene. Welcome into the stream. Welcome in. The Black Hole, Walt. Now, when I pulled this movie 3 weeks ago, I think this series, we're in season 2 of Disney Movie Review. And we are certainly in definitely more of a classic Disney style live action thing. We've done Thor: The Dark World. We've done a few other films. We haven't done an animated film for a long time. So I was really looking forward to doing all those films. But we picked out The Black Hole. But it's a film, like I said in our last stream, which was The Swiss Family Robinson. I said this was one of the films I've been desperate to watch. Been looking forward to watching this for a long time. And we have a lot to talk about. It's going to be interesting. Hey, Melissa, so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Joey's World's here too.
Hey, Joey, what's up? Good to see you. Super Fluffy Yeti says, and while we are talking Disney and films, RIP to the beloved Tommy Kirk, a Disney movie staple in the 1960s. Sai says, yes, we need either a Marvel or a Star Wars film or a Winnie the Pooh fan. Winnie the Pooh film. There we go. Super Fluffy says, Black Hole was really dark and pushing the edge of Disney in 1979. Absolutely. And here's how I thought of it. I think maybe, Walt, you can agree. 1977, there was a little film called Star Wars. Just a little film, which broke box office records. It was the thing of the summer. It was like the biggest film ever to be created. So everyone was jumping on the bandwagon. And even before Star Wars, you had things like Star Trek, and sci-fi was really starting to become sort of more of a thing. And then Disney jump in with this film called The Black Hole. And let's put it this way. They try to copy or take a lot of inspiration from George Lucas in this film. But I'm going to straight up say it did not work.
Let me say this. First off, Tommy Kirk, yes, rest in peace. For those who don't know, Tommy Kirk, I think, was the kid in Old Yeller. I think he was also in Swiss Family Robinson. So he's definitely a Disney. I don't know if he's an actual Disney legend, but he has been in several Disney films over the years. So yeah, for sure. Rest in peace to Tommy Kirk. Here's the thing. 1979, you're right. It's 2 years after Star Wars was released. And, Star Wars was the first. I mean, even Star Trek had sci-fi movies, but it didn't hit it big. Sci-fi really wasn't a big thing. It never really had success in the movie cinema. In cinema, it just didn't. Star Wars was the first real film of a blockbuster level to hit it. And then Dan's exactly right. People tried to feed off of that and make their own. And that's kind of what Disney did here. They didn't copy Star Wars at all.
No.
It's nothing like Star Wars. The story they told, the characters, it's not like it in that respect.
It's more like Star Trek than anything.
Well, they're trying to tell they just wanted to get on the bandwagon of the sci-fi boom that was starting to happen. I think but there was a lot of mistakes made in this film. That Dan's right. I mean, not every sci-fi is going to hit it out of the park. I think Disney was hoping they would. Not quite sure they did.
No. It's going to be quite a interesting take on our opinions of it. I'm going to say it right now. It has not aged well. The film has not aged well, but that kind of gives it sort of its whimsical charm, I guess.
Can I say something else too?
Yeah, sure.
When you think about, before we even get into the film, Robert Forster is in this film.
Yeah.
We have Anthony Perkins in this film. We have Ernest Borgnine in this film. We have Roddy McDowall in this film. We have Slim Pickens, if you know who he is. Over here in the U.S., we know who he is, who are in this film. We have stars in this film.
See, I can't believe Norman Bates is in this film.
Anthony Perkins is in this film. Yeah. He's, Maximilian Schell is in this film. He's the main antagonist. There are stars in this film, and you're thinking, oh, this has got a shot. We've got legitimate actors in this.
Yeah.
Just wanted to put that out there.
Joey says, the black hole, are those the things in the Epcot Lagoon? Probably. I think Walt is a great public speaker. He can persuade me to buy ice.
Who said that?
I agree. Sai said that.
I enjoy public speaking, actually. I do.
Super Fluffy, yes, there's 2 Oscar winners headline this film.
They do.
That's
Robert Forster is still acting today.
Yeah.
You know him. You may not know him back then, but he's still acting today. Most of the other ones, Anthony Perkins is gone. Ernest Borgnine, Roddy McDowall, they're all passed. But I think Robert Forster is still alive.
He's still around. But it's an interesting film. I think when I first started watching this on Disney Plus, by the way, I'd never seen this film before. I've never experienced the film before. I've heard a lot about it through like other content creators on YouTube or whatever it is, but I never had sort of that. I'd never been able to like just put it on. So I don't even know. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna give it a go. And we put it in the box, we pulled it out, and there we go. So I've never seen it before.
Right, which is the fantastic thing about Disney Movie Review, is we pull stuff out of the box that neither of us and you guys in the chat probably in some cases have never seen. It's what makes this show so great. Hi, Christine.
Christine Hitman, first ever member. Thank you so much for being here. Sai says, I also love the contrast of Dan and Walt's accent. My accent is a little more unposh, but love hearing them both talk. Sai thinks I'm posh. Okay, that's
Dan sounds very elegant and proper. I sound very mad, I guess.
Melissa says, first time I watched it too, Dan. Yeah, I think this is the whole point of the show. We just didn't think about.
It was my third time seeing it, Dan.
Oh God.
Okay. It was my third time. I saw it once as a kid. I saw it once when Disney Plus premiered within those first 2 to 3 months, just because I wanted. We all remember. We have our own version of what we remember as kids, right? Mm-hmm. So I had to rewatch it again.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I watched it again for us because I wanted to get a refresher.
Sai says, Dan, I'm from Essex. Love what do you expect? My family are from Essex, Sai. So, yeah, but whatever. So, the film. So I started playing the film, and I knew you're in for a rough ride when it's 5 minutes of this music and nothing is shown on the screen. It's just a black screen, and they just play this music in the background for 5 minutes. It's if they needed to put that in there so that they can release the film as a theatrical release. You have to be over a certain time limit. And I feel like they put that in there just so that they can have it play in the movie theater. It's true. It's true. It's literally, you might as well have your TV turned off and then play the Star Wars theme in the background. That's pretty much what they did. They pretty much had a black screen, music in the background, first 5 minutes of the film, like nothing has happened. It's just, I don't know.
No, I agree. I'm like, when we're watching the beginning credits, you're exactly right. You're like, okay, can we get started?
Can we get going? It's like 10 minutes into the movie and nothing's happened yet.
Super Fluffy Yeti asks, Walt, I want to know what you remember you thought of the movie when you saw it as a kid. I loved it as a kid. It wasn't Star Wars, but it was another sci-fi, and sci-fi was starting to take hold. I thought it was, I'm going to take a step back. I didn't love it. It wasn't Star Wars, but it was okay. As a kid, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Something else.
I genuinely thought with that first 5 minutes of the film, I thought my Disney Plus was broken. I genuinely just like, I was just like, why is this like, why is nothing playing? I can hear the music, the audio is working, but why is there no picture?
It's the black hole. What do you think you're going to see in a black hole? Anyway.
To be honest, I probably would have preferred the 5 minutes of absolute nothing than a lot of this film, to be honest.
I think you're giving away your grade already, Dan.
So they get into this sort of, because the credits and all the stuff, getting everyone excited for the movie. And it's just, how do I describe it? It's very cheesy 70s. This is the start of the 80s nostalgic style of film. It's very cheesy. It's very whimsical. It's not very serious. It's very sort of like retro in its time. We get introduced to a squad, a team aboard this spaceship, which looks like something that landed on the moon. And we get introduced to literally a trash can with eyes. They literally went outside. They picked up a trash can. They got some white tiles and then put black dots on the tiles, and they made it a robot. This is they literally took the trash can off the street. Right, who's finished their lunch? Let's go put our lunch in the trash can. Oh wait, that looks great robot. Let's just pick that up and make it a robot.
Hey Alex.
Hey Samantha Lights. Hey Alex.
Well, let me say this.
Joey said,
what's funny is well, actually, I'll get to it later. You're talking about the robots. I'll get to it later.
It's just
no, I'm going to say it now. The robots are actually my favorite characters in the whole thing. So
it's not sad. The best part of the movie is the robot.
Well, but for some people, the best part of the movies are R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Yeah, but then
some
you compare. I'm sorry. You compare. 2
I agree,
years ago.
But I'm just saying from your comment, I'm just saying that there are people that really loved R2-D2 and C-3PO, and that movie turned out pretty good.
I think what the problem is that this film being released 2 years after Star Wars is always going to be compared to Star Wars. And when you see not only C-3PO, R2-D2, but all the other droids in Episode 4, compared to what we got 2 years later in the black hole, like this genuinely looks like, you know what it reminds me of? Actually, this whole movie reminds me of one long Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episode. Everything is really cheap. Everything is really like...
It is. Here's the thing. I'll get into the story a little bit. First off, we get in, they're already in space. Okay. There's a team in space. It's Dr. Captain Dan Holland, Dr. Kate McRae. You have Harry Booth, and you also have the other, Dr. Alex Durant, and then the other guy, Captain Star or Tommy. And they're already in space, but we don't really know why they're in space. They're kind of out there for an expedition for something. They spot the black hole, and then when they spot the black hole, they also spot this ship that's been out there, and it's like the ship's been there for years because it's old. It's got dust on it, which I don't know how it could have dust on it if it's in space, but hey, it's got dust on it. And it's not being sucked in by the black hole, which is, I actually thought that was an interesting take because you're right, with the gravity pull of a black hole, you would think that thing, and they even say it, they're like, why isn't this being sucked in? and it's kind of explained later on. But they find this ship, and they're like, "Oh, there's nobody alive on this thing. It's deserted. There's nobody there." And they try to get on, and they do get on, and they find that it's not deserted. I'll just kind of,
I think,
enhance the story a little bit.
In terms of the cinematography, you could tell they had real trouble like filming space. Like when they were doing the zero gravity, they literally turned the camera on its side or upside down and have them walk. Like there was no sort of any sort of visual effects. They literally just turn the camera around, whatever.
I think part of it, it's one of the things Star Wars did right. They stayed away from the whole gravity thing.
Yeah.
Okay, if you notice, gravity was never even a topic in Star Wars. Nobody was ever floating until Princess Leia did the vampire thing in the end of.
I think it was more Superman style.
Whatever, you know what I mean. But Star was smart by Star Wars. They stayed away from the whole gravity thing, so they didn't have to go down that rabbit hole. They didn't do that in this case. They kind of brought that in. I agree with you, Dan, there. But what Star Wars did right, this movie, and I think many movies, still didn't have the ability to do. They didn't have Lucasfilm and what he was doing at the time. He was groundbreaking. And we're only talking 2 years later. Not everybody had caught up yet. And Dan's right. The special effects on the space side are lacking greatly. Okay? I mean, even back then, if you were to say, well, Star Wars did it right, people weren't ready yet. Other companies, other corporations, they hadn't caught up yet. That's how I saw it.
No, you're absolutely right. I think going from the start of the movie, the actual movie, not from like the 5 minutes like at the beginning, like from when the movie starts to when they get into that sort of main control part, it was at least 20 minutes. And a lot of it is just them walking around, getting on a little seat train thing, like getting past the gravity, all that kind of stuff. It was all just like going from place A to place B. It was quite dull and boring. Like it was nothing exciting. It was literally just them walking and wandering around.
And there's no character development. The characters are, I hate to say
bland.
It, like
They're
the
bland.
one woman, Dr. Kate McRae, has telepathy with robots. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought telepathy was a whole mind-to-mind thing.
Not only does she have not only does she have telepathy with robots, but we can't actually hear what she's saying to the robot. So we don't even know if she's just standing there. She's just got the camera facing her.
It's a close up like this.
It's just a close up of her just standing still.
Oh my god.
And she was just like, "Oh yeah, the robot said this." Bearing in mind that Vincent can talk and the robot and all the other robots can talk. It's just, I just don't get it. I don't get it. It actually made me thought whether that, Miss McRae was actually a robot. I thought maybe it would be quite cool if she actually turned out to be a robot. Yeah. Alex Kinnett says, the black hole hit a new high in cheesy in its day. Trust me, cheese isn't the word to describe this film. Trust me, Alex. Sai says, I think with such a big film like Star Wars having such a great reaction, this didn't even meet the expectations and was not so well received and didn't even compare. You're absolutely right. Candy Tink, welcome into the stream.
Oh, Candy Tink, you have to go watch it. You have to watch it. Watch it. Just because we would love to hear your opinion on what you think of this film. If you get time, if you're able to waste an hour and a half, go watch this film. I want to know what you think of it.
Actually, it's an hour and 25 because you can skip the first 5 minutes.
Right, 125 or whatever it is. Go watch it. We want to know what you think. We really, wholeheartedly, like or not, that's the whole point of this show. It's why we love it so much. And guys, we got 17 people watching in here. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for being here. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
Dan, by the way, you had a good stream last night, dude. You had like 35 people in there. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was great to see everybody after being away for so long and having a good time. So,
Awesome.
but trust me, yesterday's stream was a lot more exciting than this film.
I think me sitting here eating dinner while you and I were talking before we went on.
I bet your dinner is much more exciting than I'm not even
Actually, my dinner was very exciting. It was good.
Compared to the black hole.
We digress. I'm sorry. So they get on the ship. They actually find out that the ship is not deserted. There's one lone survivor that's on this ship, and it's Dr. Hans Reinhardt, a fantastically genius
scientist
from Earth that had left Earth with a colony of people, his people, and they went out to explore space. That's what they're thinking. Everybody had thought that they were gone. They had died, but they actually didn't die. And Dr. Reinhardt kind of explains, yes, I got out here, saw the black hole. I wanted to stay behind. I sent everybody back. All of my colony people went back, he says.
That's what he says.
And they're like, well, nobody came back. Nobody made it back. And he's like, oh, my God.
So there's a sort of mystery behind it.
Right. So, exactly. Well, I guess they must have died.
Brandon, what's up? Good to see you. Fantastic. Ears K Atwood. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. Skip Dad, welcome in. Says, just saw the stream. I remember seeing the film as a kid. Well, hopefully this brings back
John
some good memories. Or if you didn't like the movie,
Skipper Dad.
There you go. So this is sort of a big mystery. Where are those, people that he was traveling with? Where are they gone? Are they dead? Are they, is he lying? What's going on? We just don't really know. So
right. Exactly, and he's got all these robots that look human. They look human, but they have cloaks on and they have masks over their face and they look like robots and they walk a little bit like robots and things like that.
I'm not going to lie. I thought this film turned into like a cult film, those films like The Wicker Man, or have you seen the film Hot Fuzz? This is our weird reference. This is like our weird movie reference of the stream. In Hot Fuzz where the village, like people all they're all part of that sort of cult with the black hoods, and I genuinely thought that this film turned into a cult, weird sci-fi praying to an unearthly alien film.
Well, see, I just figured I didn't have that vibe for me, but I just had figured something was up because what's really weird is the potential for a good story was there. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. So he says, oh, I sent all my people back to colony. I wanted to stay alone, just me and Maximilian, the bad robot, which is actually really cool. I like him. But then we see all these what look like humanoid robots walking around. And I do like a couple scenes, like when Ernest Borgnine sees the one leaving and he's leaving with a limp.
Mm.
And then Robert Forster, the captain's trying to go back to the ship, and he sees an actual funeral. Somebody in a casket being blown out into space because it's a funeral. And he's like, there's no such thing as a robot funeral. Something's going on here.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as robot telepathy, but we found that out as well. So,
well, but the point was, it was there was something there that they could have taken and kind of ran with a little bit and made somewhat of a story here, and they didn't really expand on that as much as I thought they could. Like, he went in and he saw the quarters where everybody was, and you saw all the things in there. I liked that part of this. I didn't think that part was bad.
It's I think this goes more towards what I thought this film could have been. What's up, Adam? Good to see you, brother.
What's up, Adam?
I think if this film was not produced by Disney and they turned this film into like a sci-fi horror film, it could have worked really well. It could have used.
It needed a boost, though. We couldn't go with the story they told.
Absolutely, but they could have used those people behind the robots, in those sort of black cloaks as sort of, mindless drones almost like, and the threat of them being thrown into a black hole or something like that. I think it would have worked so much better, but I think because it is Disney, they had to keep it somewhat G-rated. But it's not it's not a happy, lucky film. Like, it is it's quite dark at points.
Yeah, it is. So ultimately, we do find out that basically Dr. Reinhardt's entire colony, he turns into these like
drone, mindless
zombie robot type things. Fair enough. Okay, that's.
I do like it when the guy takes the mask off,
and
the guy behind the mask goes,
right, exactly.
And I'm just
but
like,
for 1979, that's. Again, you weren't around, Daniel. So for 1979, as an 8-year-old in 1979, I see that I'm jumping back.
It reminded me of something out of the Haunted Mansion.
Huh?
It reminded me of something out of the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, but again, you're comparing it to what you see in today's world, Dave. In 1979, that type of scary is what we get. Okay, that's what we get, especially for something that's going to be G-rated. Okay, yeah, Halloween, those movies are out in the theaters, but we're not going to get that kind of scare with Disney. That's not what you're going to get. So you have to remember, you have to take it into context of who's producing this film and what you're going to get. It is kooky and it's cheesy to us now, but ultimately back then, for a Disney film, that's kind of edgy. You know, that just is. I mean, I kind of chuckle now when I see Maleficent and her scenes, but back then, oh my gosh, that's scary stuff for an animated film. You know?
Yeah.
So just taking it in context, it doesn't help the validity of whether this is good or not, but it makes sense why they're doing it.
Holy moly, is that Brandy and Dave? What is up, guys? Brandy and Dave are in the house. Halloween is too scary for me. What? We'll sit down together and watch it. Sai says, okay,
Sai, have a good night.
Says, okay, downward. I'm afraid of bed is calling me. I'm falling asleep before being a sleepy Sai.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your comment.
She goes, have a great rest of the stream. I will catch you in the replay tomorrow. My rating is an F in advance.
Fair enough. I agree with Brandy and Dave. Halloween scares the heck out of me. It does. That second Halloween film is one of my...
Oh, in the hospital.
In the hospital is one of the best scary movies ever. It scares the heck out of me every single time. When she's downstairs and she's at the elevator pressing on the thing for that door to open and he's coming around that corner and that music's playing, it's like, hurry up. Oh my God. It scares the crap out of me every time. I agree.
Well, there's Halloween Kills coming out this month. So.
Well, they've gone off the reservation now for me.
They always have.
You know, the first two were great. After that, they fell off the reservation.
Halloween 3 is amazing. So
it's terrible. It's the worst, one of the worst films ever. It might be worse than this one. That's a horrendous film, but we won't get into that. Anyway, let's get back to this.
So back to this. So within the crew, one of the characters, I think is it Dan, who is starting to sort of be convinced by the lead antagonist of joining him and joining his expedition, and
it's Anthony Perkins' character, Dr. Alex Durant.
Dr. Alex Durant, and he wants to join the scientist and sort of be supportive of him, but things don't go his way, and he actually gets killed by Maximilian.
But you have to remember, put a little context to that. He fanboys on this guy. He knows who Dr. Reinhardt is. He knows his work. He knows his life work. He thinks he's a brilliant scientist. And Dr. Durant, Anthony Perkins' character, wants to learn from him. He's mesmerized by him. He thinks he's this great person. He's like, at first he's like, you know what? You guys can go back. I want to stay. I want to learn from this guy. I want to be part of history. Blah, blah, blah. I get it. I mean, people are like that all the time where they follow people that they consider great. But Dan's right. When they start to realize who he really is, Dr. Reinhardt, who he really, really is, then at that point, that's when Maximilian, the robot, kind of turns, and so does Dr. Reinhardt. And Dan's right. Maximilian kills Anthony Perkins' character. It's one of the worst deaths ever. He comes up to him with this spinning thing, and he goes like this. When he kills him, Anthony Perkins goes, "Oh!" It's so...
Can someone capture that?
It's like, it's one of the worst. Look, for having some good actors in this, it's not their best work. I'm sorry.
So
Ernest Borgnine, Anthony Perkins, Robert Forster. It's not their best work.
next year for our Disney Movie Awards ceremony, we need to do worst kill impersonation award.
That might win. It might win.
And it's Walt for the impersonation of Dr. Alex Durant in the black hole. Whoa.
It's true. Oh my gosh. Oh, anyway, I'm digressing. Keep going. Dan.
So then we get the most sort of how do I put this? Vincent the robot gets a partner. And if you thought he was a trash can, you haven't seen anything yet. We get
Bob.
We get Bob, the really decrepit old trash can, joining him. And it's awful.
I love the robots. I disagree. This is where I'm going to disagree with Daniel. The robots make this movie. I love Roddy McDowell's Vincent, and I love Bob. They're the best parts of the movie.
Yeah, because there's nothing else that's really good about it. It's not really saying much.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think they're very good. Best, Skipper Dead. Yeah. That's a good one. Dan, write that down. Another category. Best actor with the worst performance.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine Anthony Perkins going into this movie? He's just like, yeah, I've worked with one of the greatest directors of all time, Alfred Hitchcock, where I played a really complicated serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
And now you want me to go in a sci-fi film?
Yeah, but he could have said no. He could have said no.
He could have said no. He could have said no.
He could have said no. See, that's what I'm talking about. We talked about this off air before, talking about decisions being made. You always have the right to say no. He said yes to this and said, yeah, this is a good idea. I'm going to do this. Thank God he had Psycho.
That saved him from this movie. That saved his career.
Yeah.
For him. Maybe he needed the money, says Alex. I don't know, probably.
He must have.
He must have needed when he realized what film he was doing. Hanging out with two trash cans all the time.
Oh my gosh.
So Bob and Vincent, the robots, sort of go in this competition with this other robot, this sort of metallic sort of robot that was playing a game by shooting lasers into the sky. Just it was probably the only good scene in the film, I'm not gonna lie, because Bob was trying to compete with his old rival robot, and then Vincent comes in, he starts doing trick shots.
He's lighting it up.
He's lighting it up literally with the lasers.
I'll tell you right now. That boy was lighting it up.
Oh god!
Filler. It was filler. It was supposed to be fun.
Everything was filler in this film. There was no story.
This had nothing to do really with the story itself of what this. And really, I don't even know if there is a story here.
There's no story here. It's just scene to scene to scene.
Yeah, it's ultimately the story is they find this guy. He's crazy, and now they need to get out. That's kind of the story. So ultimately. After they figure out who
my life,
is,
so
well, it's like
it's based around my life. People come see me, they think I'm crazy, then they go.
They leave. Yes, that's true, Kay Atwood. You're right. I agree with you. So far, we have Anthony Perkins and Meryl Streep in the Best Actor, Worst Performance category.
Yeah,
agreed. You're right.
Yeah, we do.
Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah,
agreed. All right. So notice they're both British too, by the way. No, Meryl Streep's not.
Meryl Streep's not British. How dare you?
No, I just said that. I corrected myself. Actually, neither is Anthony Perkins, right?
I think he's American.
Yeah, I think he is too. There you go. Us Americans, we suck.
Just saying. James Ryan, hey guys, just pulled over to a spot where I could come back in. Hard to believe that so many lauded actors. I don't know. I don't speak American. Prove that the lousy script can kill acting.
But see, James, I agree.
A good actor doesn't mean good character.
Well, but they didn't. But James, their performances were not good either. They didn't give us an A game in these films. I'm sorry. I don't feel. I agree with you. The script's terrible, but I don't think their performances were that great either. They weren't. They weren't on their A game for sure. And you're right. You can only work with what you have, but they probably should have said no to this film. Oh my gosh!
Adam says anyway, neither is Dick Van Dyke.
Right? No, Dick Van Dyke is a fine actor. He's a good actor. He's a very good actor. But he's a very good actor. But he's not good in Mary Poppins. British accent. Yeah,
it's a terrible accent.
Well, okay, but that doesn't make him a bad actor. That just means he has a good British accent.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good actor. I've always liked Dick Van Dyke. He's always done, over here. We like him a lot. He had a TV show for years.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, his British accent is terrible. But
should we try and get to the end of this movie as quick as possible?
Notice there's not much to talk about. We're talking about other things instead.
Yeah.
But let's keep going a little bit because there are a couple things I want to go over about this. So ultimately, they do realize that Dr. Reinhardt's he's gone crazy. He's gone mad is what he's really done. He thinks he can go through the black hole and there's something on the other side. Obviously, he's crazy. Yeah. There's nothing on the other side of a black hole. So he thinks there is. But ultimately, whatever force field he had that kind of kept his ship from being pulled in was malfunctioning, and now the ship was being pulled in. And they needed to get off. And that's where the struggle to get back to their ship, to get off in time, had to happen. And then there's these meteors that are also coming in, being pulled in by the black hole. That scene where the one meteor is coming down and rolling, and they're going by it on the bridge, the giant meteor. I actually think I like that shot. I think that's a neat shot. Other than that, that's it. I mean, ultimately, Dr. Reinhardt's ship, he gets killed. Something falls on him, kind of crushes him. He gets killed. He goes into the black hole. And then they try to get away, and Dan, they don't get away. They can't get away. And then the captain, Captain Holland's like, we're going through. And then they go through the black hole. Now, I want you to tell me what is your impersonation of the ending?
My impersonation of the ending? Well, it came well, the last 30, to be honest with you, I'm going to be really honest with you, Walt. The last 30 minutes, I was at the point of boredom where I just was having it playing in the background on my phone. That's okay. That is, I was so bored and so uninterested that I was sort of half watched. I normally with a film, right? I'm so invested. Even if it's not a great film, I'm still mostly invested in the film. But I just zoned out.
James, here's okay. Well, let me for those in the chat, because we talk about these movies, but I also want to educate on those that didn't see it. So in the end, you see this scene where you see Maximilian, Dr. Reinhardt and Maximilian, his bad robot. They're in this fire and brimstone. They're up on this giant mountain that's covered in fire and in brimstone, and all of his minions are down below. You see all the people, his colony down below, and then the good guys. You see them in this light, looks like bright light.
It's a very, how do you say it? Religious.
Well, that's exactly right.
Emphasized scene.
Well, right. That's exactly right. What I took it as, and maybe that's exactly what they meant it as, is nobody made it. They died. Everybody died. They went into the black hole. There was nothing on the other side of the black hole. He went to hell, and they went to heaven. End of story. That's how I took it.
That's how I took it as well.
Yeah, that's how I took it, is the bad guys went to where, and they went to heaven. But nobody lived there's nothing on the other side of the black hole, because there is nothing on the other side of a black hole. So that's how I took the ending. It was really weird. Melissa's like, what's going on? She didn't even understand the ending.
I'm with Melissa, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
If you want, right, a really good gravity preventing black hole story that has done really well, I would check out season 2 of the modern Doctor Who series. It's a 2-part series where the Doctor and his companion land on a spaceship, on a space station on a moon that is preventing from falling into the black hole. And there's sort of a reason behind it, and it's a brilliant 2-episode series. It is so well done, one of the best 2 series in the whole of the show. And they actually did it really well compared to this. It reminded me a lot of that Doctor Who sort of episodes, because it had pretty much the same sort of thing behind it. But it's just, it's I don't know. It was a weird ending to this film.
Yes, but that was I think it was their abstract way of saying that's where they all went, but they all died. Yeah. That's how I took it. But there you go, guys. I mean, this is definitely an interesting film, Daniel. And this is your show, so I'll let you continue. I'm sorry.
All right, so it is now your opportunity in the chat to let us know what you think about this film, The Black Hole. Now, we do a letter grade here on Disney Movie Review, where you give us either an A+, being the best film ever made, down to an F. And by the way, this gentleman right here has given an F in the past. I think we have a good contender for being down there, but maybe our opinions will change. I don't know. But it's up to you guys in the chat to let us know what your grade is, your letter grade, and give a reason why if you have seen the film. But we do recommend everybody watching this. Very quickly, Alex Cadet says, good Disney friends, duty calls, I have to run. I give the movie an F as well. No plot, no character development, no story, lackluster special effects, and a poor response to Star Wars. Very well. That's absolutely fair. Super Fabia says, wow, I misremembered the ending. I thought the black hole turned out for some type of wormhole, and they did come out the other side.
Well, they don't really expand on that, I guess is the word. They don't really say. It's very abstract. It's very, you can kind of take it the way you want. Maybe in your mind they did. To me, they didn't.
James Ryan says, if I had a choice of films on a desert island between this and George of the Jungle, I'll be swinging vines with George.
I disagree. If I had to choose between the two, I would choose Black Hole. I really would.
I'm going with James. But so while everybody is putting their grade, their letter grade in the chat, give us your summary of this film. What do you think? What grade do you give it? If there's a favorite character, favorite scene?
Sure.
What is it about this film? Summarize your thoughts.
Gotcha. Bad story, bad character development, bad acting. I'm sorry for having a couple of Oscar winners in there. They've got to be able to find a way to save face a little bit. They did not in this film at all. I'm sorry. No story whatsoever. Special effects were lacking. I agree with Superfly or Alex when he said that. This is a bad film for sure. For its time, maybe it wasn't horrendous, but obviously Disney didn't think much of it. And somebody said, now you know why they picked Batuu. Tron was not a very good film either. The first Tron wasn't the best film, and that got an entire ride. So I don't know. I mean, there's things about the black hole they could do with it. But the film itself is very, very bad. I'm not a fan of it. I went back. I was very disappointed. It's not anything like I remember it. But then again, I was 8 years old. So,
yeah,
it's a different time. No characters were good. I did like the robots. I thought the robots were the best part of the film. My favorite scene was the scene where that giant meteor's inside and they're running across. That's just a good visual. I like that visual. I think that's a really cool visual. My overall grade, George of the Jungle is no longer alone. I got to give it an F. I do. I got to give it an F. I would give it an F plus Because the sad part about it is there was actual possibilities of an interesting story here with the colony and the scene and the one with the limp and the funeral. There was something there, and they just didn't use it.
Yeah,
but it's an F for me.
Before I get to my grade, I want to just quickly see who we got in the chats. James Ryan says a D-. Skipper Dad says, now we know why they went with the whole Star Wars theme for Batuu. Melissa gives it a D-. Kyle Lee, welcome into the stream. Thank you for being here. K Outward gives it an F. Avatar isn't all that, and look what they did in Animal Kingdom with it.
I agree. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a good film to get a land.
True. Now, for me, I gave George of the Jungle a D+. Thing is, with George of the Jungle, yes, it was a really bad film, but it's one of those films that was so bad that it's hilarious. And I was expecting this film to be like George of the Jungle or Batman and Robin or Jaws 4 or whatever, that I can just poke fun at it and laugh at it because of how bad it is. That wasn't the case. I was so disappointed with this film. I think that this film is absolutely garbage. I'll never rewatch it again. There's just nothing about it. There's no characters. There was no... The villain was awful. The music was terrible. The film was an hour and a half. It felt like 3 hours. I never get bored in a film. I'll watch the whole thing. This is the first time in a long time I was just bored. Really, really bored.
I agree.
And this is my first F on Disney movie review. And you know when a movie is bad when both of us give an F. This is...
Daniel should have given an F to the other one too, but that's just me.
I really like George of the Jungle.
No, you did not.
I did.
I did. You guys.
It made me laugh.
Made me cry.
The elephant's name is Shep. How could you not find that funny? Come on, Shep. Come on, Shep. This film was garbage. This film is absolutely garbage. But hey, you might absolutely love it. So we do recommend that people go out and watch it. Give it a go.
I agree. There are people, obviously, James Ryan said in the chat, somebody told him, recommended this movie to him. So there are people that enjoy it.
Brian, West Coast Disney Adventures. What's up, Brian? He says, are we grading the black hole?
We did.
We are. We did. The reason why George of the Jungle is higher than this film is because George of the Jungle made me laugh.
Okay.
It made me laugh, because of how awful it was. Whereas this, you can't laugh at how bad it is because it is that bad. There's nothing to laugh. The only funny bit of this film was when the woman was doing telepathy with the robot. Because it's just dumb. My favorite part of the scene was the first 5 minutes. Because it was literally nothing. It was a blank screen. And my favorite character, probably Maximilian, because he was a kind of cool robot. It reminded me of a Doctor Who villain.
There you go.
But that's it.
There you go.
That was this garbage of a film.
Here comes the best part of the whole thing right now.
I know.
Time for the poll!
Time for the poll. Here we go, guys. We are back for next week's show on Walt's channel. So we're going to pull the next movie out of the box, whatever it is. Whatever it is, go out, check it out, see what film it is. Take the time out this week and watch it. We haven't done an animated film since Tinkerbell way back. We haven't done a Star Wars film for a long time. The last Star Wars film we did was the Lego Star Wars Christmas special. So there's a lot. So hopefully nothing classic as we've been doing pretty much all the time. Right, here we go.
That's on you. You're the one pulling them.
I know. Next week's show, Walt's channel. Drum roll, please.
I already know what he's going to pick. He's going to pick Home on the Range.
I'd rather take Home on the Range than the Black Hole. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're finally doing a good movie. I am very excited. I think you're going to like this. We are going finally back to an animated film. We are watching
Tangled.
Nope. We've done that.
No, not Tangled. Tangled. Did we?
We've done Tangled.
Did we? Oh,
yeah.
All right. Oh, we're doing Snow White, aren't we?
Nope. Oh, you can't even see that.
I can't read that, Daniel. I still can't read it.
A Goofy movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Goofy movie.
We are going to be...
I haven't seen that in a while.
We are going to be going to... We're going to a Powerline concert. Dude,
Gee, what do you think Dan's grade's going to be, everybody? Let's give it away already.
I have a person in mind for a special guest next week.
Oh!
If we can get that person.
All right. Well, you can tell me after.
Yeah, I will. But we are watching a Goofy movie next week. I'm super excited. I cannot wait. The Leaning Tower of Cheese. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait. So, a Goofy movie next week, 6 p.m. on Walsh Channel.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. And that's it. The black hole is done. It is out of here.
It has been crushed.
It has been terrible. The review was good. This has been fun because we pretty much spent half of the review not talking about it. Yeah. Next week will be a lot better.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It'll be a good time. Maybe. You never know. We don't know what we're going to grade it. I might not like it.
Yeah, you might. Have you seen a Goofy movie before?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, I think.
Bits and pieces.
I don't think I've seen the entire thing. We'll have to see.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. But this was so much fun, guys. Thank you so much for... I know there's a load of other streamers going on at the moment, but I really honestly do appreciate you guys coming along, sticking around, and listening to our review of The Black Hole and for being here. It really does mean a lot to me. We are back. We are here in a new sort of studio setup. There's going to be new stuff added to here and make this film, this room, more of a studio. But this has been so much fun. And Wald, what is coming up with you? You're at Hollywood Studios today. That was a lot of fun. I was ninja watching.
Very relaxing. Yeah, we just did a kind of a stroll. We have, first off, hope everybody enjoyed the weekend streams. We hit over 10,300 subs now, which is great. Next weekend, we are back. We're not going to have a stream Tuesday night because I note to sanity for 2 weeks in a row. I'm sorry, gang. Melissa is taking her to the airport. She's got to go up to Maryland for work for the next 5 days. So she'll be working up there and staying with our son, Walter. So next weekend, Friday night, we're at Magic Kingdom. We're going to have a Friday night stream. We're going to start doing more Friday night streams as we pull away a little bit from Sundays because we have some new things going on Sundays that are making us do that. So look for a lot more Friday night streams. I think people like those streams. And we'll be at Magic Kingdom, so we'll be able to watch the Disney Enchantment again. We'll do that. We'll ride some rides. But I'll be solo. Melissa won't be there. And then Saturday, we're going to be at Animal Kingdom. And for now, that's everything. And we're still getting together how I'm going to do our 10K giveaway. We've got a lot of stuff we're giving away. We've added a few new things. So that's still coming. We have not forgotten.
So please keep sure you are tuned and subscribed and ringing that bell for Mouse Talk because you do not want to miss any of that amazing stuff.
Thank you, dude. Hey, David. David Stevens.
Hey, Dave. What's up, Dave Stevens? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. As for me, Disney Fiasco, Saturday, 7 p.m. Again, as obviously I have explained in previous episodes of Disney Fiasco, it's going to be here and there. We don't know when we will be in and out of Disney Fiasco, but Disney Movie Review will always be the same. It will always be live every Sunday as often as we can for doing it. But just keep an eye out for stuff. We are doing some more and more plans. Bill M, welcome in. He says, hey, Walt, I have to chime in as my wife rolls her eyeballs. The Black Hole was a fantastic film. Vincent was the bomb, and Maximilian was an excellent evil robot. Fair play, dude. Fair play.
Bill's in our streams all the time. I'm so glad he came in. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, David, and everybody. Thanks for coming in, guys. Bill, that's great, man. I'm glad you love it. That's all that matters, dude. That's why we do these, Daniel. See, isn't it? This is why we do them. That's awesome. I'm glad you like it.
I don't know if Bill M is actually being serious or if he's just joking.
I love Vincent and Max. I agree. Those were the characters I picked as my favorite characters from this.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You can also check out Walt on Mouse Talk, Twitter and Instagram as well. Let me just say a few other things. Check out my partner channels, RobFuz, the self-proclaimed king of retro, the Viapree Project. This guy right here, who is a very special partner channel to me, as well as Mickey's Magic. Dean over at the Live Place. Go check out Dean over at the Live Place. Over 150 different podcasters, live streamers. That's the one. I'm not with it today. Go check out Dean over the Live Place. Check him out. And that's it, guys. We are going to be back next week on Monk's channel, 6 p.m. Eastern, for a Goofy movie.
Gosh.
Gosh. And maybe in a couple of weeks' time, we might have to do a Halloween special.
Yes, and a Christmas special.
We got to do our Christmas. Well, it can't be any worse than last year's Christmas special, the Lego Star Wars.
It was fantastic. We gave it good grades, remember? I think we both gave it B's, or C's or something like that.
C or C plus or something.
I don't remember. I really enjoyed that, actually.
It was good fun.
Pretty good.
It was good fun. Anywho, thanks so much, everybody. Have a great week. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
For the good of all Cree.
For the good of all Cree. We're going to go into a black hole now. Bye-bye.